it's a great experience.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. So after 2 years,
district needs all the help they can get.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, somebody on this call has intimate knowledge of this Court of Appeals. So she's going to be Matt with Chris Stevens.
Oh, that's cool. At least I talked about them very well.
So here's what a small world this is. Chris Stevens, who is the newest member of the Missouri Court of Appeals Eastern District, his grandfather shared office space with my father for 20 plus years. I represented his mother and his father in the estate for the grandfather and closed out his estate because I liked him, he liked me, and I was a young lawyer at the time when he died, but I knew Chris sort of, but Chris was a very young man at the time. Chris went into the U.S. Attorney's Office, and Chris was in there for 20 years, I guess. Left, went to work for the Attorney General's office very briefly, and then took the place at the Court of Appeals. So Emma had an internship with another judge, and the judge loved her, but the judge had already hired his clerks, and so he was actively recruiting for her. And I didn't even know that he'd spoken to Chris. And he says, "Hey, I'm going to hire your daughter. Do you mind?" And I'm like, "No, I don't mind at all." So it was kind of a funny outcome, but it was good.
Well, congrats, Neil. It's awesome, dude.
Thanks. Yeah, and she's set for the next 2 years, and it'll be a great experience for her.
And then she comes on board, huh?
Well, it's going to be up to her. You know what? Nobody has to do anything, right?
Well, no, we have to wait until 8:10, actually.
That gives you 2 years, Neil, to get an office ready for it.
There you go. Actually, that's probably exactly what's in her mind.
All right, what do we got on time, guys? Oh shoot!
I got
we're
8:10.
Do we have permission to start?
Yes.
All right, Chief. Would you like the honors? Chief Reinhardt has the flag. Everybody stand. No hats. Luke, hat off, buddy. Okay, go, Chief.
Pledge allegiance. The flag.
The flag of the United States of America.
Like which it
Stands.
one nation.
Under God. Indivisible.
Liberty and justice.
Justice for all. Alright, play ball. I think, Sherwan's giving us a free tank of gas? Is that it? You gotta like that guy, man. Alright, how's everybody doing? Let's do, alright, so we got the Pledge of Allegiance done. Any amendments to the agenda?
None.
I don't have anything.
Do I? Recognition of visitors and guests. So, we got Rick on board. He's not a guest, but he's a good guy to see.
Mr. Chairman, thank you.
How you doing, Mr. Holland? Good morning.
Morning, Tom.
Treasurer's report. Jim, you got the floor.
I'd like to make a motion to approve all bills dated 5/23/2022.
I'll second.
So approved. Sorry about that. That was my phone. Okay, Chief, what do you got going on?
A couple quick things. I want to see if you want to cancel next week's meeting. There's 5 Tuesdays this month. Obviously, it's the holidays, so whatever you all want to do.
Well, they pull the calendar up.
Alright, and then just real quick, we worked the triathlon on Sunday morning. The entire staff and several of the members, plus House 2, Captain Ricky's crew, and things went very well. We had one very serious injury from a bike fall, and other than that, no other issues. A ton of people down there, but the weather cooperated, and all was good. The fire marshal's office, Matt And then Terrence Jackson did a lot of drone coverage. I'll let him talk about that if he wants. But, all good. So,
Man, kind of cold for a swim.
it was chilly early in the morning. Yeah, they got in the water about between 6:45 and 7, I guess. And yeah, they were all in wetsuits, or at least the majority of them were. Kind of cold, really, for everything, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
How many participants they have, Chief?
Around 750.
Holy crap!
Yep. There was people everywhere that morning. Yeah. So good turnout, good show, and again, only unfortunately we did have one very serious injury, head injury, and but our medics treated and transported, and Jan's going to work today to see if we can get a disposition of the patient if possible. Yep.
Wow. Good you're there, right?
Yep, that's why we're there.
Awesome. Okay,
Chief Reinhardt was in command of it, did an excellent job as usual. Yep.
he is kind of a rock star, isn't he?
Yes, sir. Does a good job. He's got a lot of experience with his triathlon, though. That was, I don't know, Steve, the 6th, 5th, 6th, 7th? I don't even know. We've been doing it for a few years. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Cool.
Yep.
All right, so hey, back on that date thing. What do we? I think didn't we skip one meeting though? When was that? Was that?
I think that was last month, wasn't it?
That was the last one.
Yeah, we did skip a meeting in April, but we have had 4 meetings already in May, so you've already done your 4.
And we don't have anything popping for the 31st.
Not on our side.
All right, well let's skip it. Everybody good with that?
That sounds
Absolutely.
good. Okay, so
That's all I got.
Okay.
If we go into closed, Chief Reinhardt just wants to bring something quick up. It's nothing that can't wait, though.
Cool. All right, well we can go into closed for you. Under what number?
Contractual.
Contractual. Randy, you got that? Cool. All right. Chief, anything else? All right. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Okay, hey, Big Matt, what do you got?
Yes, sir. We're ongoing inspections. We've got some meetings with the city scheduled for some new redevelopment in the district, and we flew for the law enforcement side. We supported Maryland Heights Police at the Triathlon, and we were able to give them a live feed from the drones to their televisions on their command center, and it worked really, really well. We worked with Chief Reinhardt and kind of coordinated keeping track of the swimmers in the water and how many we had left as we were clearing them out, and we were able to use the long-range zoom on the big drone to monitor all the way from Marine all the way down to Page and 141. So when the lady crashed, we were able to monitor her and then see how they were packaging her and see, we could kind of give some information to the police in reference to the patient, and that kind of thing.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. That drone program, guys, it sounds like we're really Matt is really on to something. How about that?
Well, I didn't fly a single minute the other day. It was all Matt Tate's flying the big one and Terrence Jackson flying the smaller one, but they did a great job, and I just my job was to coordinate and make sure that they had what they needed and that everybody else was getting the information they needed. But they did a really good job flying for me.
That's awesome. Well, tell Terrence, good job. Hey, little Matt, good job, buddy. All right, keep up the good work, man. That's cool.
All right, first I want to thank the board and everyone on the call for their patience and understanding during tax season. All right, we have some things to get situated for the audit. Randy, you want to pull up, or would you like me to pull up? There you go. All right, the first item in mind we do this every year. This is amending the 21 budget for the audit. So if we go left to right, each fund's going to be represented. They're all set up in the same way. If you go left to right, first column is actual, 12 months of last year. Original budget's in that second column, so you can see what the original budget was. The third column is the proposed adjustment, and the fourth column would be the amended budget being proposed today. So what you'll notice in every case on the revenue side, everything is brought up to actual, because that's physically what we received. That's exactly what we brought in and deposited. So that makes sense. The big number up above, you can see tax collections because of the tax increase for the district. So when you look at revenues, we're up 3.4 million over the budget. So outstanding year. And then we look down on the expense side. What you'll notice on the expense side is we only adjust a budget if it goes over. If the budget did not go over, that budget remains the same. That was a good budget. So we're only adjusting those that went over. You can see on the general side, building maintenance, fuel, not to be unexpected, we're going to see that again this year. You look down, office supplies, de minimis number, payroll taxes, professional fees, we know what transpired last year, salary and wages, supplies, cleaning supplies, COVID, those are the remainder of the COVID expenses, uniforms, and utilities. So we'll probably see utilities again this year. So we saw the revenues go up by 3.4 million. Expenses were 530,000 more than what we had budgeted. So you can see what's transpiring there. So you go to the far right, you see the total revenue being proposed in the amended budget, 9.1 million, almost 9.2. On the expense side, 7.3, almost 7.4. We have a surplus. Now, if you notice, the original budget had a deficit, and you can see that, about $1 million in deficit. We wound up with surplus of $2 million because of the tax increase. To the far right, the surplus being proposed in the amended budget is $1,784,402. So, again, that's the general. So if we go to the next page, please, Brandy. And what we're going to see is same thing, exact same methodology for the ambulance fund. Revenues in that fourth column equal that first column, exact same. Expense side, on the expense side, the exact same formula. If we did not go over the budget, that budget number remains the same on the far right-hand column. The ones that went over are almost exactly the same we just talked about. Building maintenance, fuel, you can see the insurance, you can see the office supplies, professional fees, you go down, salaries, overtime, not to be expected with COVID, some more COVID supplies, and then utilities. So again, revenues went up by 618,000. Expenses are only being increased by 260. So what you're going to see is that we started with the anticipation of a deficit, 170,000. You can see at the far left, we wound up with a surplus of almost 1.2 million. After we take care of the proposed amendments, we're still going to have surplus to the far right. You can see revenues, 4,009,818, expenses, 3,481,872, but still a surplus, 527,946. Can't say enough about the district. You guys did a great job. We started out with the anticipation of deficits. We wound up with surpluses in both of our primary operating funds. Page 3, we do the same thing with pension. So it's in and out. We know everything here goes straight to the employee pension plan. So you can see when it's all said and done, bottom line, surplus, 617,185. Everything in the pension fund was adjusted. Why? Because all the numbers were more than the proposed budget. But in all cases, you can see column 2, we were going to break even. In this case, we had a surplus, once again, 617,185. The next fund is dispatch. We know this is in and out, once again, strictly and solely for Central County. So you can see what was being proposed. You can see what's transpiring. We proposed break even, very far right, we break even, everything's brought up to actual. In all cases, you can see what's transpired. All right, page 5, debt service again. This fund is solely for the purpose of retiring and or refunding our bonds. So what you'll see, what was proposed, surplus of 17,771 in column 2. We actually wound up with a surplus of 116,271 like the other funds. You can see the proposed adjustments in column 3, and then you look to the far right, column 4, and on the revenues and expenses, everything is exactly the same. And then the last fund is our capital projects. Keep in mind, this is where all the equipment comes from, the remodeling of the buildings, all that comes from this fund. So you can see what was, there you go. You can see what was proposed. We proposed a deficit of 3.2 million, almost 3.3. You can see when it was all said and done, what transpired. We only had to use 1.3 million of the reserve. You look to the far right, the amended budget equals actual in all cases. So today, Mr. Chairman, the recommendation to the board, if they so choose, would be to adopt the amended 2021 budget as read into the record today.
Well, it all looks good, Rick. Any discussion, guys?
Nothing.
I don't have any questions.
All right, I'll make a motion, we adopt.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Rick, Brandy, good job. And the guys, sheesh, it's crazy.
Okay?
The inflation eats that number up pretty quick though, doesn't it?
Yeah, and keep in mind, inflation is going to have an impact because of supply chain and everything. Not to mention, when you look at diesel fuel, all-time high, not coming down. So keep that in mind. But one of the things we're encouraging districts, reach out to the banks. And there's an organization called MOSIP that also offers higher interest rates because that interest could offset some of these expenses that we're talking about. Because banks are going to be reluctant to increase their rates quickly, where MOSIP is going to give us an opportunity to earn a little bit more in the interim. So something to consider as we move forward. So, and that'll help offset some of this inflation impact. But the good news is less than 15% of our budget's impacted. So, because 85% really is paying benefits. So we should be in good shape. All right, here's what we're going to do. The second item is assigning for the audit again, once again. This is our general fund balance. We do this every year. So what's being proposed tonight, and again, all boards, all districts, look out. It's called being proactive, having some foresight for the future. So what we're proposing tonight, just like last year, the amounts are the same, assigning 1.29 million of the general fund balance for the purpose of future appropriations. That's using the budget dollars that came in December. That means the early tax dollars for next year's budget. So that's what that means. 1 million for the purpose of emergency preparedness. What's that? That's any and anything that will occur. That means if anything were to transpire within the district, a tornado, an earthquake, the COVID, all that means is we're preparing for those events. In the event they happen, we've earmarked $1 million for the district in order to solve or serve that purpose. And then committing $910,230.87 for the purpose of GASB post-retirement benefits. That's the amount that was in the account as of December 31st, and that's why we're earmarking and committing those dollars. So with that, again, Mr. Chairman, the recommendation would be to go ahead and approve the general fund balance reserves as we have described.
All right, discussion, guys? I guess that's a no. I'll make a motion, we do it.
I'll second.
Roll call. Aye.
Aye.
Hey, let's do a roll call. Aye.
Aye.
Hey, Rick, good job. Great typing, Brandy. I'm sure Rick didn't type that up.
All right, so here we go. The last item we have so this is Senate Bill 870. Keep in mind, this is the big accomplishment of the MACFPD back in 2018. So here's what it does. It insulates, protects this district against Chapter 99 projects. Keep in mind, before 2018, we received only 50% of the tax revenue. Chapter 100, before 2018, we received 0 tax dollars for a full 10 years. And then Chapter 353, which is big with the municipalities now, back before 2018, we received 0 tax dollars for 10 years. And then for the next 15, we round up with 50%. So what this now says is that we are going to notify everyone within the district, any of these projects that come forth, or any of these projects that get amended, that we are requiring a 100% reimbursement rate. So keep in mind, we're setting a reimbursement rate for these 3 chapter statutes tonight. So we have to do this every year. By statute, it has to get done. And by statute, we have to notify St. Louis County, that's the collector of revenue, and the assessor. We have to notify them before July 1st. So that's why we're doing this today. Historically, we've done it since August of 2018. So the recommendation today, Mr. Chairman, is to go ahead and approve the resolution for the 100% reimbursement rate for property taxes of every type for the purpose of providing emergency services as authorized under the 3 separate Missouri statutes that we just read into record today.
Yeah, looks good.
Any questions?
Any discussion?
This is an easy one, no brainer. Let's do it.
Okay. Well, Jim, you make the motion. I'll do the second.
I'll motion we accept this.
All right, I'll do the second. Roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
Yep. Again, good job there, Rick. Randy.
Thank you all very much, and that's all I have for today, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Rick, thank you so much. Hey, tax season. Don't work too hard, okay?
Yeah, it's all over with. Now the fun begins.
Good for you. All right, Rick, you're the man. Thank you so much.
To Brandy for all that she does.
All right. Well, be safe. You want to hang around, Rick? You can. You don't have to.
Oh, hold on. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So we got Rick part done. Unfinished business.
I'll make a motion to approve the May 10th regular and closed meeting minutes.
Second.
I'll second.
So approved. Board of Directors, new business.
Nothing.
I don't have anything.
I got nothing. Sherwan. Hey, Sherwan, everybody. Sherwan's taking us to the gas pump at Chevron. He's giving us all
Yeah,
free.
I'll take you there, but I'm not buying anything for you.
Oh, get that credit. Let that Moz out of that wallet, man. Come on.
Yeah. I got nothing, including credit, so I'm not going to be able to buy any gas.
All right, thanks for the in-depth report.
Welcome.
All right, Captain Doss isn't required to be here today. Good and well for anything for the cause.
Nothing.
I don't have anything.
All right, guys. Well, you know what? I think we're going to adjourn our regular work session. We're going to go under closed under the numbers that have been discussed. So, obviously, we need the board, legal, Sherwan,